Blessings and welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. Today we're continuing in Numbers and we're in chapter 7. One lone chapter today. So let's get into it. As expected, there are a lot of numbers in this chapter, and today they number the things that are dedicated to the altar. Now, this is kind of building up to what the religious and civil and legal system in Israel is going to be like, because the temple is the center of Israelite culture. I mean, it is everything to them. Like I said, their government would be carried out from here. Their worship and all their religious activities would be centered around this. All the civil laws and things would be centered around this. I mean, the Israelites' very identity would be tied up in this tabernacle. And it was portable. You know, when God said move, they would pack it up and move. When he would say set it up, they would set it up. And I mean, this was this was their capital. This was it for them. And it's interesting to think that they're nomads at this time of 40 years of wandering in the desert. But everywhere they went, they had this capital with them. This center of who they were, their center of government, and just a really neat thought. But today they dedicate the altar, and there are 12 tribes of Israel, and so there are 12 days in a row of this gift giving. Now, we can read all of these things, all these gifts, as each group gives them, but I'm just going to tell you up front, and you probably recognize this after you read it. These 12 paragraphs worth of gifts were all identical. They all gave the same gifts. They gave one silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and it was for the grain offerings. Then they gave a silver sprinkling bowl for the grain offerings. They gave a gold dish filled with incense for the priest to burn inside the temple. They gave a young bull, one ram, and one male lamb that had to be a year old, and all these were for burnt offerings. Now this is every day. Then they would give one male goat, the one male goat was for a sin offering. It was by itself. 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs that had to be a year old, all for the fellowship offering. Now, the fellowship offering was the offering, just like it says, for fellowship between the priest and the people who came to dedicate these things. And that was the barbecue where they would sit and eat together. They would commune together, fellowship, enjoy each other's company over this meal. So this was the fellowship offering. I think that's why there's so many more animals sacrificed here, because there had to be enough food for everyone. So just a really cool thought of how the Israelites performed their government and how they dedicated this altar to the tabernacle. And then at the very end, we hear something really cool. We talked yesterday about, I think it was yesterday, the Holy of Holies and the priestly garments, and they would go in there once a year, and that would be set up in their law. But it wasn't quite set up yet. Until then, Moses would go in and talk to God. He would hear God. God would be in between the cherubim and above the atonement cover and above on the Ark of Testimony. So Moses would go in and hear from God. And this is where Moses got all the information for Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Moses writes all 5 of these books, and this is where he gets his information. He goes in, God speaks to him, and Moses transcribes the 5 books, the first 5 books of the Bible. Sometimes it's called the Pentateuch, sometimes it's called the Torah, but these first 5 books are written by Moses, and this is where. And it's such a cool picture, and we will see this. This will come back up as we go along, and just like yesterday, we knew the regulations because we just read Leviticus, and we saw some of the protocols for diseases, and it really made us feel a part, or it made me feel a part of what was going on. So this information will lead into future devotionals where we will feel a part of what's going on because we know, we've read, and we know where it comes from. So anyway, tomorrow we're going to be in Numbers 8, 9, and 10. So I look forward to seeing you back here and discussing this. And until then, be safe.